Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay, the host of today's session. And before the event actually started, I would like to have a quick update. As many of you might already know through our meetup announcement and IG Redline group updates, our guest speaker, Ihab, unfortunately won't be able to join us today due to a very sudden and unexpected complete reorganization how it happened on his side just a couple of hours ago, Friday morning, US time, which made him fall into a very difficult and challenging situation where he needs time, space, and also emotional support to recover and wait through this very challenging and difficult time. And as a community, as a design profession in this industry, we absolutely understand how hard it takes. And we always take priority of taking care of ourselves first. So hope all of you can understand Ihab won't be able to join us due to the sudden change happened to him. He and we were really looking forward to this session as he proactively had a sync up with us in the past few weeks and shared his deck and presentation and shared his insights and his observation on the tech industry in America. And we wish to bring his insights and experience in this session. But as I mentioned, unfortunately, he needs to take care of himself first, emotionally. And we wish he would wait through this difficult time and start his next journey, the new chapter. And we were sure he will be back and sharing his knowledge and insights on fintech or his product design experience in America to us in a few months later once he settled into his new opportunity. So this is on the news, which is not good news, but I hope everyone can understand because that might happen in the design industry, especially in the US. And also as a designer, we always apply the empathy principle to our user when we are doing the product design. And now I think this is just a moment like to remind us we should also apply this empathy principle to the people surround us, especially our design folks in this industry. So let's hope we can have this talk very soon and wish Ihab can embark his new journey, the new opportunity very soon. Yeah, so today we'll have our solo speaker, Nino from PayPay, to give us a speak. And also, as mentioned before, Ihab is really looking forward to collect with everyone on LinkedIn. If you have any collection who is hiring the senior product designer or the design needs, please feel free to reach out to Ihab. Yeah, thanks everyone. This is my quick update. And so I will just start to do today's agenda introduction. We will have a short introduction of our community on what we have been doing. And then I'll hand over the mic to Nino, who is going to walk us through how the Nino is going to work to solve the very complicated design flow. So our name is like a Tokyo Design, and we are career-oriented hub empowering the rising project designers through the collective learning, continued mentorship. And we also have another co-organizer is Bo. Bo, you can just say a quick hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Yeah, I'm Bo, and I'm a product designer working at PayPay for already a year and 4 months now. Yeah, in Tokyo. So yeah, welcome everyone again, and yeah, just like feel sorry for Ihab for the sudden like situation this morning. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you. And yeah, and we feature the design talks monthly, just like this session. We have online and offline, and we will bring the different designer from different backgrounds to share their insights. And also we have the hands-on workshop where we'll do the design jam or quick hackathon or some ideation workshop working on the real problem from a real application. And this is some photos we took in the previous events. We always have good vibe. And also we have the portfolio critique and design challenge review. So if you have any problem within the design or the design challenge you receive from your company, please feel free to reach out to us. We would be happy to support in this area. Yeah, and also we'll have our next event very soon, which is on June 7th, Saturday. We will bring three professions and be a speaker. Please feel free to join if you are in Tokyo. Yeah, we already announced that in the meetup. Yeah, also we have a LinkedIn page. You can search Tokyo Design and then you will be able to find us. Also, we have the IG account where we share the design inspiration, a portfolio, and also some weekly insights happening in the industry. And now we're bringing our speaker, Nino, and he will introduce the Ninote, where he reinvented the whole design flow in PayPay. Now the floor is yours, Nino. You
Yeah,
can just share your screen. Yeah.
sure. Thank you, Lindsay. And I feel sorry for Ahab, but unfortunately,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's,
I gotta share screen and I'm gonna turn off my camera because over here internet might not be the best over here for me.
yeah, sure.
Sure. Can everyone see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, kind of make like my presentation kind of funny today, but yeah, I have a bad news like before that, but I still have to go with it. So today I want to present about my design diagram, and I'm gonna make your workflow to cook, and I'm gonna make you become like a chat designers. And let's get started. I hope everyone is ready. So I think I don't need introduction, so I'll just go straight to the point for my presentations. So first, do you design? Do you still like design like this from your design diagram, the handoff? Let's say that like when you have like a very complex screen, like let's say this one that I write on an article in PayPay, that on the login screen and we have like a mini case. If we have to write all the decision note, it's gonna be like this. So let me introduce you something new. We call it Note. And after that, after like we digest our information and transform to Note, it's just gonna be just only like two note like this, which you can clearly see that like we have like the state highlight and write all the case and subcase in just only one note. So you don't have to go read around like all those decision note and think like systematically. So which one do you prefer? Which one is better? It's up to you. But again, so we know that like the design diagram exists for like very long time, right? Just like when we have like a car, the things that we have in the past and things that we have now. So because like in the past, design might not be like that dynamic, might not have that state. So that's why the way that the old diagram is work. But as I work in my experience and the applications have like a mini subcase, many edge case. So that's why I just decided to create this kind of node and share the content across a stream. So it's not the first time I'm creating this. I also doing this in the past, in my past company as well. But eventually, like this one just started to like conceptualize when I was in PayPay. So, and you might question it like, oh, why I have to use this? The diamond node is like it's very good. Why I need to update this one? So let me give you like a good reasons. So have you ever heard the story of like a 10x designers? And so like beyond the designer, we have the 10x designer, just like a 10x engineer. So the legend said that like, oh, all files must be transparent, and it's just like if you cannot make your file as simple as it is, you're not good at user experience as you think because you cannot think throughout. And you also like be responsible. So whatever you do, not just only design, but also with alignment, because like maybe your screen might be perfect, but your diagram or your flow might not. So it could lead that to like an error in the development. such as like a QA or maybe front end or maybe like the user journey is not much as you want because engineer might confuse on your design diagram. And another reason is that like designer will stop leveling up, they will gonna be replaced by AI. And I know everyone is now motivated, so let's start now. So what is Nino again? So this is like example that I take from one of the design cases that I have right on my articles. So Nino is like a better tool to communicate design flow to every party in development team. So it's not just only designers, could be engineers, could be PM, could be QA, and could be the business management team when they're reviewing your design. And the principle is very simple. So think of it like a high level of the diamond node. It's like if you can write the group of the diamond node, like what kind of function it is, what you're gonna write. So you can see like it is like the headline of like, oh, what kind of method you have for login, what kind of authorize you have, and then it just gonna and you also can have like a consequence such as like what kind of error message you want to show in this step when you hit like a certain error on each of step, because like when you have an app on a login screen, especially for a big app, you check for ID, you can set it like, oh, ID is wrong, password is wrong, or like we could like look for like scammer or like other securities. And to think of let's the next step from thinking of high level, just thinking like the area, like what are the section or scenarios happening here. So we see that over here you can see that like this just tell you like about what happened on the login screen, and you can get the image like what is journey is going on without having a design screen already. So that's why it's become effective. And now I know that you start to see visualization of the flow work because this tool is used for visualizing the journey before you could start design or like during the design process. So now let's zoom out a little bit. Like in this case, I just choose like SCF from my article because I cannot write anything much about PayPay because I don't want to like accidentally like leak any internet information. So I just choose like a other app as like a case study, also in my article as well. You said like when you open app, right? Normally what the app does is like it's gonna check for your session first, whether like are you a new user or you have been logged in before, and what kind of login method you have used, and when you log in, like what kind of ID you use. So over here, it just gives you like a bigger picture in terms like a functional, and allow you to understand like concisely like how the app works. And if we zoom into like, let's say this like another product that I have to help I just like help my friend to create like a RAG chat model for the AI. You can see that like this one is like if we have just only like a two decision node, it just act like a diamond node. So it's like a node in the atom level. And if we zoom out on this product again, let's say this is like a ChatGPT product. You can see that like when I have like a multiple node, I can just link this to like many journey on design file, and you're gonna see like the multi scenarios. So I'm gonna show more about this one later, but I just want you to understand that like how it helps a designer to provide the better vision for how your product works. And when you have this, your design presentation gonna go smoothly because like there is not a like what is I don't understand all the scenario questions because everything is listed at once, but we had to go like to like a one by one, just like going to like each scenarios. So why you have to use this again? Let me persuade you why you need it. So every designer, I know all of you must face this problem before. So you know that like, oh, when you design something, your design is hard to understand, not professional enough, you find it's kind of messy. So and then developers start to ask you many questions. Many things not clear, it's kind of hard to navigate. Or even though you just tell things to people already, they just forget and don't know how to navigate again. And the most important thing is your early developers start to ask you the same question again of how it works. because they cannot navigate on your file, or they just lost like what is your file doing on. So basically they just lost in your design journey. So maybe it's SKU issue, I'm kidding. But you know what? Actually, I don't have this kind of the issue because my design is like clear enough with So it could be like they could take like how to present you to use this because you don't have to answer the unnecessary issues. So because like really like reflect the same way how engineer thinks when they see like case and loop and like the scenario then like become scenario 1, 2, and A become loop of B, become loop of C, whatever. So you should start using a today because trust me, I'm kidding. So let's tell you again like why it works better. So step 1, I think it's just like make you have like less mental effort when you start to reading things. It just simplify your design experience, not for just only like screen, but also like organization in the organization wise, especially like when your team is become so big. So over here, let's say this is like article that I wrote at PayPay, and you can see like the left one, you just focus only 2 areas and you can understand most of the section already. And the right one, which is a login screen where you have to figure things out. Do you think like which side gonna take like less time and which side gonna save you like a lot of time for not just only designers, but also think about the QA engineers and also product managers? So that's like one thing when I released this in PayPay, the PM and QA and engineers just come to me and say that like a thank you for this, for making this, because it's make their life a lot more easier, and most of like a design review and like discussions just go through like easily because everyone know like how the map work. They just know where the function is, where it's like a logic of the functions, and like what are like the detail of the function, what it's do. Because again, like over here, you can write down the brief description that like this login screen, like maybe just pass through the banner A. Meanwhile, this one, the diamond node doesn't tell you anything in details. Even if tell you how to put like a description note over again, because just only diamond node alone doesn't allow you to provide a description much. And second, it just allowed you to think in the multiverse scenarios, because we know that like the diamond node, like it's just basically yes, no, or the most option you can have is just only 3 options in the diamond nodes. Meanwhile, node, right? You can see that that like we can create like the indent layer to tell you that like this is like a section A, this is like whole section A, and this is like a subsection inside a section A. And this is like error case, which is like not part of the section A, but it's like alternatives, like scenarios. So over here, I would say that like this not allow you to create a high level information. Meanwhile, tell you like what is like the inside information in the overview details, and tell you that like what kind of problem, what kind of journey you're gonna see in each scenarios. But again, it's not something simple. It just takes time, but it's helped you break down the information in the high level to the sub level in just like the high level presentation alone, just like bullet point. But I just create this into the components. And third, because I create this, so it has to be good to kid. Kidding. It just worked well because it's worked the same way that how you map like a multiple customer journey at once. And so it helped you to spot like a better edge case. Let's go back to this one for a bit. So like, for example, right, this one, let's say if you have like a chat GPT and you start like a chat history, you can see that like there's like a mini case that you can list as one before you start to working on the screen. So it's like a good reminder for you to plan your design, and also like also allow other designers, like let's say you design lead, you senior designer, so design manager, also engineer, to check whether like you have like everything round up in the presentation or not. So everyone can like just spot like error in the design before even look all the screen, and everyone gonna lost in there. So as you see that this is like, for example, the design structure of like a multiple node that you can link it like a tree, like a mind mapping. Again, we can use this arrow to link to the design screens. Let's see how much time I have. I think I didn't use much of time. So since we have like a lot of time left, plenty of time, let me just walk through you some of the file that I have been working in the past. Can everyone see this file screen, right? Can you see, Lindsay? This is like a new file. Okay.
Yes.
So this is like the project that I helped my friend to create about the AI, like web-based AI for like a desktop and mobile. And I just already like delete all the logo. So I just helped my friend to do this because he want to create like a AI products. So example like here, there's like example of the sitemap. You can see the like on the high level, we have like over here, and we have like this kind of like a main node which lists all the scenario over here and just led to like each of the sections, and everything just work like perfectly, just like the layout plan, because it's not allow you to tidy up the file and make your file very easier to navigate. Let me just walk through it very fast. So example, you want to log in, right? If you log in successfully, just go to the login screen. But if you have an error, like let's say password is unmatched and the password doesn't meet criteria, we can list down like all the subcase over here. Meanwhile, everyone just familiar with the ChatGPT already. In this case, I just help him design for development because they want to create this assistant. So I just set them up the guideline of like what are the main feature of the IAG AI for this one. I will not go to all of it, but I just go to like a major thing that like how I go to like the main case, just like a chat. You have to have like a state of the chat. You have giving feedback. You can force stuff, and you have like a fail case that you can just use this to create like a design flow again. I will not focus much on AI because it's all about the node today. But you can see that like it just make your documentation or the screen become like easier to digest, and this like how the very professional design documentation is, because like even though you just drop the link to the engineer like this one alone, they can just figure out what they need to look, because they can just focus on like finding what they need to work on, and you can just like send the link of like this node alone to them, and they can just figure out by their own. Other than that, it's just like a documentation of maybe like a UI layout, but that's is about it. And this might not work well in like a mobile, but for the other kind of products, such as like the back office, the console, the backend product, this one really work well because it's built for the complicated products. I hope there's no question. The next one is my design library file. You can find on the Figma community file, because I just share it like across the community for free. So over here is another use case for this one. I just had essay for my Medium article. So I just walk through you that on the like how the app works normally. So when you open the app, you still see like a user journey with no session. Sorry if I interrupt a bit, because this one is kind of improvised. I didn't know that like I had to go to like in full hour by myself. So I'm just gonna give you information as much as I can. So here that like you can see that like when you download the app, right, you can log out in the two state, which is if you just download or you haven't opened app for a long time, so you force logout. And with the option, you can just like instead of like to link like multiple arrow like this, you can just like link down with the node and tell the user that like what kind of process you have next. And you see what I want to walk through over here is like when you see like a node walk through like this into the loop, you can see that like you can like create like a loop, like how the system works. And this also help the designer to be able to visualize like what is a user journey, because like this is like the just like the circuit, like a circuit board that tell that like you go left, you go right, and where you get next. For example, this one, like when you open camera for the first time, normally like every like OS gonna ask you for the permission for the first time, and then if you not grant permission, it's just gonna tell you that like how things work. So this is like a very simple version of the node. And I know that the last thing is you guys are not familiar with this, how the node work, because this one is kind of go against the way how designer works. Let me give you like a story of the first time that I introduced Nino to the company and the organizations, because like just like everyone, when I start to show like all the design, everyone find that like, oh, it's kind of look nice and work. But once designers start to have to write this alone again, everyone just start to face a problem, because first of all, I cannot find diamond node. Never mind. First of all, like this node just make you think reverse way of the diamond node, because when you write a diamond node, right, you just think in the questions format that like, is user logged in or not? But for example, this one, for example, some of the design can say that like, oh, the user is logged in already, and user is not logged in, and I just tell like why they haven't logged in or why they're logged in. So sometimes it's not always come in the question form, which is go against like the way that how you write the decision node. And once you have something that stack like many layer on top, now it's like how your logic's gonna crash on each other, because instead of you think like a one question, you have to start to group the question first, and then write that question into like a group of thinking. So that's like where it's just go against the way that how the traditional tool that you use to write a design flow works. But don't worry, like I just create like tip for you to think about like how to write a node first. So my suggestion, if you want to try to use this for the first time, the first thing of something the biggest, like think of like what kind of flow is this, and then list the thing that you want to separate, that like how many major cases it is, and then you just go from the major case into the subcase. Let's say that like this is like the node that I use in PayPay. For example, like when you use like a search input in some point in the app of PayPay, we have to, like, let's say when you type something on Google, it starts to show you the result, right? So there's like a logic behind like how the system fetch the result again. So for example, like this is like the node that I use for like a search system that like reside in some point of PayPay. So when you start to type thing, like let's say you start to see like some of the result, there's like a three major thing that's happened when developer want to ask me. First is like debouncing. And so this is like categorized as like a typing behavior, because like debouncing is something like it start to fetch you a lot of information and start to like happen rapidly. And sometimes when you type thing and you don't find the entry, it could lead to the timeout, and it's just said like, oh, you have no internet. And the last thing is like when you type and the data is not here yet, you start to see like a skeleton UI. So you over here, you can see that like I just digest like a problem of like a typing behavior in the PayPay app into like a three sub problem that I just list them to the another node to explain in the design screen later. And I just tell the developer that like, oh, this one is like the most important one. So I just put like a highlight star over here that like anyone coming for my design for the first time should focus on this one first. And the rest is like just like the subcase of the design. So over here that you just see like the idea and the logic that how I break things down into like a technical problem and a functional problem that design how to support. So that just make like this design alone doesn't support like most of like a major case, but also supported like the edge case that I write it down on the purple layer over here. And I also create like this like developer notes that is not from PM, but just only used for like the technical documentation that I link that to the conference later. And yeah, I think that's like the technical knowledge that I would like to share you about. If you're confused, I'm sorry, because this one is like already hard a bit already. And let me go back to the presentation. I think that should be a good add up already, because that one is not planned, it's improvised. So I think in the end, like you can give it a try to level up, because like at first I'm not used to this too, but once you start to do something hard, you're gonna learn that like you are more capable than you think. So it's like a good to unlock yourself. And when I introduced this, to the team of PayPay, like a 40 people for the first time, it wasn't easy, because like everyone see that like it's like a great tool, but they are not built for this because it's have a lot of time to adapt. But one of the strategy that like how I start to like overcome, I start to overcome this and make people using this tool more, because now they're like more than 70% of design review. I just see everyone just start using on their design presentation at PayPay. I just start by showing them like my use case, and I do presentation great with this, and I start to like teach my teammate like how to work on Node, and just give them some guidance. And when one people start to have like a success and like doing well, other people start to copy. So if you work in a big company and you want to create like some transformation, you have to be like a role model first, because like just like any other success, when people find that like your way of work is better than them, they will start to apply that. Not because like they want to follow you, but it's because it's make their life easier and make them like become like a better person. So I would say that like if you master it and you just share to your teammate, it will become like a good word of mouth, and it's just gonna benefit you very well, because it's making you um, become more potent designers, that you not just only design nice thing, but you can look things through in many layers. And when everyone see that like your design documentation file is kind of clean and simple, everyone just think that you are so like professionals. So please use it. And if you want to learn about this, this is like elastic, you can just search like over internet. So this is like a Medium article that I write, and you can find my component over here. So you can just import my component to your local design file. And if you want to learn more about what I do at PayPay, you can read my article over this link. Just don't visit the Sky link, okay? Okay, thank you.